Amos. Right. Sunday, soon 45. Today's the 15th day of June 2025, I think. And let's start with a bit of music, shall we? This is I was down a local pub recently. Bit of karaoke happening. So let's have a listen to this bloke. If it works. All right. Howdy, folks. I'll just shut that off too. That was down the local Wanji pub. Bit of karaoke the other night. Haven't done a show much of late and don't really know why. There's probably some complex reason behind it, but I'm back now anyway. Sunday show and well, how's the news going? Anyone watching any mainstream media? There's a bit of crap on it. Yeah, sort of about. You heard about the the latest war? Well, let's have a look into that to start with, shall we? Once I find the right button. Where am I? Here I am. Sorry, folks. You know what it's like. This is from the ABC sort of newspaper type thing. Iran-Israel conflict. Israel says Tehran will burn after Iran targets Tel Aviv, as it happens. Yeah, anyway. Iran and Israel targeted each other with missiles and airstrikes on Saturday after Israel launched its biggest ever air offensive against Iran in a bid to hinder nuclear technology. Yes, I'm sure that's what it's all about. Israel defense ministers also threatened that Tehran will burn if Iran continues to target civilians in retaliatory strikes. Yeah. Israel would never do that, would they? Yes. So what has actually happened in over there? Israel is well. We all knew Iran was going to get into it sooner or later, but well, here we are, folks. 2025, and Iran's getting busy. What's going to happen next? I wonder. Because all this obviously takes away from the other story happening over there, which is the usual one. Which one? Yep, that one. Yeah. Gunfire. Israel gunfire. Strike kills 120 Palestinians in Gaza. Many at aid sites. What's to go with the aid sites, eh? Don't want to watch the video, do we? No. Israel forces have killed more than 120 Palestinians across the Gaza Strip in the last 24 hours. Medical sources have told Al Jazeera, including dozens of hungry aid seekers, as Israel continues the relentless bombardment of the besieged territory, with an overall war death now toll surpassing a staggering 55,000 people. Yeah, sure, it's a bit more than that. Anyway, Gaza's health ministry said 57 people trying to access aid were killed and more than 363 injured by Israel since Wednesday morning. At the distribution points operated by the controversial Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, GHF, a US and Israel-backed drive in tightly Israel-controlled zones. Yes. Mate, who are this mob? It's Israel and American got a bunch of people together to distribute the aid that they're letting some in. And, once people come to get the aid, they kill them. That sounds pretty much the way things are going, isn't it? That's pretty boring. Anyway, I might, let's have a bit more music. What do you reckon, eh? Ooh, yeah. Not sure what this one was, but we'll see how this goes, eh? A little lady having a sing. Yes, very nice. It was down the Wanji pub, as I said. Yeah. Hey, let's find some more news to read, shall we? Wrong button. Yeah, we'll have a look at Russia tonight. If they've got that working yet? Yeah, that seems to be working. Piss me off. All right. Putin and Trump discuss Iran, Ukraine. Kremlin, eh? Let's have a look at this. It's not really a big picture, is it? I'll have to do. Where are we? Russian President Vladimir Putin and his US counterpart, Donald Trump, spoke over the phone on Saturday discussing the attacks between Iran and Israel and the Ukraine conflict. According to the Kremlin, the call lasted approximately 1 hour. Russian presidential aide Yuri Yukonov called the conversation meaningful, frank, and very useful. Putin condemned Israel's strikes on Friday, partly noting that they occurred just before nuclear negotiations between Iran and the US scheduled for June 15, he said. Curious, don't they? Yeah, very curious. Despite such complicated situation, the Russian and American presidents didn't rule out a return to the negotiation track on the Iranian nuclear program. Once they fucking bomb the shit out of them and start another humanitarian crisis over in the area, and then I'll get back to talking about it. Yes. Go over that story. What else is happening here? Tucker Carlson blast Trump over his Iran attack. Oh yeah, Netanyahu tells Iranians to revolt. Yes, can't see that happening, mate. They're going to revolt against you. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has urged Iranians to overthrow their government. Unprecedented hostilities are up between the two countries on Friday, and it's only going to get worse. Yeah, what a smug-looking little character that bloke is, isn't he? Yeah, that's pretty smug there, second. Putin. Redefining history, why the fate of Russia-Ukraine war could be shaped in Turkey. Turkey. They call it, apparently. Turkey. Yep, Turkey. Sounds like a Mediterranean dish, doesn't it? Anyway, redefining history, why the fate of the Russia-Ukraine war could be shaped in Turkey. Before the latest round of Russia-Ukraine talks in Istanbul, Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan paid a visit to both Moscow and Kiev. There emerged a potentially pivotal moment in the context of efforts to resolve the conflict. While the Moscow visit was officially framed as a step forward, deepening bilateral relations, Turkish? Was it Turkish? So if it's Turkaya, then why is it still Turkish? Should be Turkish. Anyway, this is getting us nowhere, isn't it? What do you reckon? Time for more music? Yes, and I'll find something else to play. Yeah, what do you reckon? That might be a good idea. Number 7. Okay. Bit of Dolly. How are you, Nobby? Rough bar, eh? Yeah, I'll drink to that. Where'd the video go? Why does that not come up? What happened to the screen there? You should have. Yeah, a bit late now. Anyway, found another interesting story that might be. Well, still back on Russia tonight, but yeah, I found this sort of interesting. Let's make sure I got the thing happening properly. You can see that? Good. I'll fuck off and start reading. Russia tests new laser weapon. The Russian government has announced a successful test of 8 new amplified light anti-aircraft systems. Russia has successfully tested 8 anti-aircraft laser systems, the government said on Friday. They were designed specifically to tackle drone threats, and the statement added. The trials, we've got a video. Let's have a look at the video. Minute and 12 seconds. Looks like. Read. So if they're showing you this, what do they really have? This is probably the. That's when hobbyist backyard, really, doesn't it? Looks a bit dodgy. Oh, that just looks so fake. Sorry, folks, I've no idea what that was about, but yes. Footage of this trial shows drone getting shot out of the sky by a laser beam and crashing into the ground. The video also features a destroyed target display and some of the drones. Deary me. What do you reckon, folks? Might have a look for something different to play. Sorry, folks. Bit of dead air time. This is also at the pub. The band called Ignition. Yes, Nobby. Tell it to me again. Yeah, for some reason it's picture's not coming through again. Where is it? Don't know what's happening, folks. It just seems to be. There we go. Yes, that was Ignition, the band from Randy Wanji. Yeah, quite a good little band. That was a bit more music, rather. Let's go back to some Australian politics. What do you reckon, eh? Not back to, but it's something I just found. AUKUS and defence spending heads for Albanese's head of the Trump meeting at the G7 summit. Can't wait for that one, folks. Yes. He's a happy-looking chappy, isn't he? It's peak grizzly season in the Canadian Rockies, where the Prime Minister lands this weekend. Hyperactive after winter hibernations, the bears are breeding and hunting for protein. Anthony Albanese can take comfort from the notion that he's among friends in a heady gang of the G7 leaders. Seriously, folks. Who writes this stuff? A comedian, no doubt. This week's summit is hosted by Canadian PM Mark Carney. Like the Prime Minister, still radiating in the afterglow of a triumph-thumping election win built on voter allergy to Trumpism. Oh, come on, okay. Anyway, hanging with Emmanuel, Kerr and Friedrich, that'd be Germany's Chancellor Merz. Obviously, nobody has heard of him much, as he's only got the job in May. Amidst the peaks, lakes and forests of Alberta's some other resort, should generate good vibes. Sorry, folks, not the best reader in the world, but hey, I'm enjoying myself. Hope you are too. G'day again to Nobby, DK, and everyone else that's watching. Anyway, it also offers massive herd protection against the apex predators. Oh, yeah, Trump's an apex predator, is he? And these guys are just a bunch of sheeple. Anyway, both of the Ursus Arctos horribilis kind. What the fuck is that? The grizzlies that lurk in the White House. Sorry. Anxiety-induced headaches. Australia's costliest, closest ally is giving a spirited, or is that closest or costliest? Oh, that'd be Israel, wouldn't it? No. Anyway, Australia's costliest, closest ally is giving a spirited impression of behaving like a cantankerous bear. Its president is at war, almost literally, with its own people in California and foreigners alike. He's started fights in every corner of the world. Despite sheltering the safety of the group, the Prime Minister's problem is that Trump's administration appears to have fixed eyes on its Eye of Saurian on him. Fucking hell. Eye of Saurian? Seriously? Am I reading this? That's creating anxiety-inducing headaches for opportunities alike for the PM. This week, news of this week that the Pentagon is about to consider renew the AUKUS deal, and has angered and dismayed some inside the Australian government. His time is just before the G7 summit, and only shortly after Albanese pointedly shot down US calls for greater spending in defence. You see as both, wow. I do believe it's time for more music, folks. What do you reckon? Find something suitably different, again, from my vast array of stuff that I've found here and there. Yeah, what's this? I could just go on driving or something. Yes. Where is this? This is in Australia. Yeah. That's big boy. You can't see it, can you? Sorry about that. This is heading down the freeway in Melbourne. No, over here somewhere. So, let's see if this works.
Whisper all your energy to me, and I'll shout it right back. Floating high above the sea, What's it gonna be? Energy flowing out of me. Whisper all your energy to me.
Pretty overline, right? Yeah. Should I look into that?
And I'll pulse it right back. Floating high above the sea, bringing me to attack. Energy. Energy. What?
I think I'll go and change screens because this one's pretty interesting. Yeah, this is live from Canberra. I'm sorry.
The chair said in response, Senator Heffernan, I do not think anyone would disagree with anything you have said. Senator Heffernan continued, I have produced a set of documents to the Royal Commission under an order to produce, which includes, disturbingly, documents that name in one document 28 people as alleged pedophiles and signed off by Gary Crook QC, counsel assisting an earlier Royal Commission. It includes a whole lot of prominent people, and I think to protect the discretion of the Royal Commission, I would not comment on what the Commission thought, except that they thought it was outside the terms of reference of the Royal Commission. One of my problems is that we have in Australia a compromise at the highest of levels. There is a former Prime Minister on this list, and it is a police document. Lawyers have used the tool of abuse in the divorce courts. Divorce courts should deal with, in my view, the breakup of the family and its assets, etc. It should not and is not qualified to deal with the abuse that is alleged. That should be a separate entity, and it is not. Later, he said, obviously these documents are very disturbing. They were delivered to me by a police agency some time ago because no one seems to want to deal with them. Every Attorney General has seen some of these documents. Some of them did not read them. Some of them returned them. Robert McClelland tried to do something about some of them. It is not so much the secret that is the problem. It is when a group of people, such as the 28 on this page, keep each other's secrets that the institution becomes compromised. On this list, there are some examples of that. For thousands and thousands of people in Australia, and the Royal Commission, to its credit, is demonstrating the disgusting culture of some of our institutions. I just appeal for you to give consideration to cleaning up this act. The Royal Commission, as you know, Attorney General, was about to explore, and it is in the Hansard, so it is no great secret, who the legal fraternity people were that used to attend Costello's, the boy brothel club in Kellett Street, King's Cross. I actually have the list here. A lot of them are still practicing, but the judge of the day of the Royal Commission decided it was a no-go zone. Paddy Bergen, counsel assisting at the time, said, "We will rise for morning tea," and they never went back to it. I did ask the Commissioner why. He said he would deny it if I ever mentioned it. I think it is time to mention it in view of the good work of the Royal Commission. He said, "We've decided not to revisit that issue because the public would lose confidence in the judiciary." Like with the churches and our other institutions who are now facing up to the truth, I think it is time that the institution of the law face reality. There are a lot of good people in the law. The Royal Commission is doing an excellent job. I think it is time that we gave consideration to cleaning up the Act. You may like to revisit. And I have to say, I got rid of another judge through the excellent work of the Judicial Commission in New South Wales a few years ago, without a murmur. He was a person who is in this list who was picking up young blokes in the toilets outside Marcelian College at Randwick. He heard a case in the Central West of a stepfather abusing a daughter. The judge closed the court, found the person guilty, suppressed the names, gave a non-custodial sentence to the man and let him go back to the family home. Nothing else was done. I think this is a disgrace. Senator Brandis commented that just because somebody's name appears on a list does not make them guilty. And he said he knew that Senator Heffernan understood that. If there are serious allegations to be made against one or more people, then they should be put in the hands of the police. And I know you have done that. Thirdly, let me make the point that nobody is above the law. I do not comment on your general allegations, but of course, nobody is above the law. Nobody. Senator Heffernan continued, I think included in these documents, and I think it measures the issue, Mr. Attorney, and I would hope people are listening and give serious consideration to the victims of this process. When the police find it necessary to put a judge under surveillance, I think we have got to a point where we have a problem. And when that surveillance is dropped because of a lack of cooperation between the AFP and the New South Wales Police, we have a problem. And no doubt we still have that problem, Samantha, because these issues have still not been addressed. We ask that you raise these issues with the people of Australia so that this dirty laundry can be aired and that those victims, the survivors, can have closure and their perpetrators can be held to account. And then further, the full scope of corruption within all government systems, the courts, the corrupt private systems can be brought to light, and we can build a world based on truth and justice. Exposed to 28, Samantha.
A friend of ours, Glenn Fisher, who gave evidence to the Ward Royal Commission, came down to visit us down here at the Governor-General's. I'm just going to play his speech.
The author of the book Predator's Paradise and founder of the Leg Up Project, and they don't like me because the author of the book Predator's Paradise and founder of the Leg Up Project, and they don't like me because I'm a living example of systemic failures. I am actually living proof of what happened in the 28 nights. I actually grew up on the streets of Sydney. and I actually witnessed these men coming in their cars to the wall and to the park and picking up children. I gave evidence to the Wood Royal Commission. When they came and see me at the Wood Royal Commission, I thought finally I'm going to get my voice heard. After years and years of being through abuse, depression, addiction and trauma, I thought they're finally going to hear what I have to say. They said, Glenn, this is your opportunity to speak to the corruption, the police of King's Cross who are covering up the pedophilia in King's Cross and the multiple children that have died, like my girlfriend. So I gave evidence to the Wood Royal Commission and I told them my story. And what ends up happening is they steal my file. And then I go through 4 fucking trials against my abusers. One by one, I take pedophile up to pedophile, high profile pedophiles to court, and I put them in jail. And you know what they did to me then? They gave them 18-month sentences. What a fucking slap in the face. Yeah. Sorry for my language, but what an absolute slap in the face. Your value, Glenn, is 18 months. And the second one, the first one, Paul Chetman Jones, he got 18 months. There were multiple victims, and each one of them was to run concurrent, which means that for 20 18-month sentences, he only done 18 months. That's a slap in the face to every single child raised on the streets and's gone through this trauma. So I go through it again with a guy named Ken Fogarty, and he gets 18 months. And then I go through it again with a guy named Grant Leroy Morris, who ran the refuge and was the head of Enzo Insurance, and he gets 2 years, 8 months. And then my main abuser, Simon Davies, who told me as a boy I'd never get justice, I'd never write my book, I was a heroin addict, I'd be dead by the age of 21. He flees to another country where he uses the statute of limitations in another country to negate 13 of 18 charges, to take out 2 of 4 victims. So 2 victims will never get justice because our system allows people that are predators to go offshore into Europe and use their laws, statute laws, to negate crimes in our country. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. There needs to be a blanket agreement with every country in the world that when a child is abused, all bets are off, man. It doesn't matter where in the fucking world you go, put them on that plane, send them back and hold them accountable for these crimes. Because what you get is, I am a product of this environment. I'm a product. And what happens is hurt people. And that became my story. I started doing armed robberies. I started robbing dealers. I started fighting anyone that wanted to fight because I had so much anger in my body because hurt people. And then in 2015, they called me up again and they said, Glenn, we're so sorry about what happened to the Woods Royal Commission, but we've got another Royal Commission now into institutional abuse. You can tell your story about being raised in orphanages, in refuges and in Darrick Boys Home. You can tell them about how you were abused again, how I went into foster care and I'm placed into a house with 9 adults, placed into a bedroom with 3 adult men, 2 with prior convictions for pedophilia, and I'm put into that bedroom and systemically abused for my entire stay. So I do. I get the courage, and it takes a lot of courage to go forth again after being burnt over and over and over and over. But I do it because I believe they're finally going to hear our story, and Australia's going to finally get to hear the truth of the systemic failures in this country about the abuses that have been held by people in positions of power. Yeah. High-profile men travelling to King's Cross who believe these are fathers that have children, have wives. They're school principals, they're teachers, they're politicians, they're movie stars, they're the people you don't expect who think, that's okay, I've got a lot of money. I'll just go to King's Cross and I'll buy me a little child. And then what happens is they take them to rooms that are run by gangsters and these gangsters film it, and then they're not only abusing children, but they're now compromised, which means that their corruption gets worse. So Johnny covers up, everybody's covering everybody's ass. Yeah, fully. And then they say to us, right, in the Royal Commission, we're sealing the files because we're afraid that we will lose faith in the judiciary system. Bro, that happened fucking years ago. We lost faith in the judiciary system a long time ago. Do you know how you restore faith? With transparency and honesty. That's right. That's it. No matter how the cards fall, just be honest and open. Because what that does is that allows us to heal. But it hasn't done that to me. They suppressed my file, and it was only because of Current Affair who stood up in my last case and said, hey, do you want your file suppressed? And I said, fuck no, I don't. And the court's saying to me, Glenn, the reason we're suppressing your file is to protect you. You ain't protecting me from shit, man. You ain't protecting me at all. Australia needs to hear these stories, absolutely, as painful as they are, so that these things don't happen any further. So these things don't happen in the future. There's men out there and women out now who have been through abuse and they don't speak up because they're afraid. We've been taught or drilled into us as kids, don't dob, snitches get stitches. That mentality allowed my abusers to go free for 35 years. And that mentality allowed my abusers to continue to abuse. to continue abuse and abuse and abuse. So every time you tell your story, you might give just a little bit of information that collaborates someone else's story, and it might just get closure for someone else. So I advise everybody to find your voice and find your courage, because your voice is your superpower. Absolutely your superpower.
That's right.
I spent so many years in addiction. I allowed my traumas of my childhood to steal my life. It literally stole my life. I sat on the lounge feeling sorry for myself in victim mode. That don't happen no more. Today I've taken control, I've taken power, and I will not be silenced. And to this day, I'm one that's never been financially compensated, because I won't accept fucking redress. I think redress to me is an insult. You know what I mean? 150k, Glenn, you sign this bit of paper and it's, fuck you, bro. That's not going to change what I feel in my heart.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I am suing the government for the systemic failures, and I don't have faith in that either. But we'll see how it plays out. You know what I mean? What I do know is there are people out there rorting the redress scheme, and it seems to be people who are being unfairly enriched that haven't been abused, while real victims of these crimes are falling through the cracks. That's a fucking tragedy. That's a prime example of the government that we have, that throws money at things without brains or trust or finding out what the actual Australian people want. We've allowed so many people to come into our country, we don't know if we're fucking Arthur or Martha anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the truth.
What is happening to our country?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, my name's Vinny Eastwood. As you know, I'm the author of the book Predator's Paradise. I've turned my life around now, and I go down to the streets and I try and help others, and I reach out to people who got trauma, because I'm a firm believer that addiction and alcoholism is a secondary symptom to actual trauma. Trauma is the underlying impacts of addiction, and when we start addressing people's trauma, then we can start dealing with things like homelessness, addiction, and mental health. Mental health, I watch an absolute epidemic on the streets at the moment of people on the streets with mental health issues, because the money created an NDIS scheme, which again is a freaking raw and a joke, which is enriching people at the top but not those at the bottom, whilst people are walking around the streets suffering with mental health issues. And as a person that works on the streets, who's empathetic and has a heart, it fucking hurts my very soul.
Yeah.
It literally hurts my soul. When I sit down and I talk to somebody and I hear their story and I go, bro, you are me. The only difference between you and me is our circumstances. I've now got my shit together, and I'm trying everything in my heart to try and instill in my heart into their heart. But it sounds simple, it's not. It's actually hard, because people are broken. People are absolutely broken, and a lot of it's because of the systemic failures of our country.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to me. Remember my name, Glenn Fisher!
Yeah!
He is the author of the book.
Wow, that was fantastic. Thanks, Dave. Oh, I'll just say a couple of other.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Just an afterthought. Those were very powerful words from a victim and a survivor of exactly what Will Heffernan was speaking about. An incredible man has managed to turn his life completely around and now spends a vast majority of his time helping others, helping the homeless, taking care packs to homeless people. You can see his story on, I think it was on 60 Minutes. Is that right?
I said a current affair.
A current affair. So if you look up Glenn Fisher, a current affair, you can see that whole story. Just another thought too. When he was speaking, I was thinking about the children in South Australia. I read the book called The Child Protection Racket. I can't remember the author's name now. Very, again, very disturbing situation that has gone on in South Australia for what seems to be a long time, where the children that are put into protection, put into the protection services, apparently for their own good, then become victims of child abusers. And the system does everything possible to keep that child in that awful situation. A very interesting read. And on another topic, on the 3rd of June, the Australian Immunisation Handbook was updated. A very significant update, which interestingly has not been reported very widely. Under 18 years are not recommended to receive COVID jibby jabs, experimental injections. It is not recommended for healthy infants, children or adolescents who do not have medical conditions that increase their risk of severe illnesses. This is because the risk of severe illness is extremely low in this cohort over the course of the pandemic, and benefits of the jibby jab are not considered to outweigh the potential harms. Full stop. This does not say that, oh, now we have just, the course of the pandemic has changed and the jibby jabs are no longer effective against the latest version of it. No, it says the risk of severe illness was extremely low in this cohort over the course of the pandemic. Correct. And when I was looking these things up, I noticed that on the 20th of November 2024, they made some other recommendations regarding the primary course of the jibby jabs, the first one. And at that time, November last year, their recommendations were that children under the ages of 18 without risk factors were not eligible for the jibby jab. We didn't hear that on the news either. So people, your children, if they have not already had these experimental injections, are now safe.
Just the best music. I like it before.
Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Never got a jab, never wore a mask. 2 years ago, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raided amps, done all they can. 2 kicks out of Canberra, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They broken the roads, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up, but I'm out on bail and I'm still here. They try so hard, we try not laugh. They tow my car, the next day it's back in the same car park. These cops ain't smart, I'ma make a drop this charge. Son, you watch, we take it back to the start. No D's, no titles, no trespass. Now we charge you, tables are turned. We come with a proof for all the assaults, all the abuse. Nobody gonna cut me loose, knock knock. Yeah, who at the door? Makada, bring on the storm. Library to epic, thought we were gonna regroup and come back to the front lawn. Yeah, we're still here, still ain't got no fear. We will cry, still ain't shed no tear. The sense of we still here. Is that all you got? We take on you more, we unite. You don't call the shot, Sovereign's been here all along. And they're still here, yeah, they're still here. Return of the Sovereign, but they never left, yeah, they're still here. Yeah, they're still here. Yeah, they're still here, the oldest civilization. It's been how many years? They're still here. Need your support for the new way this war is fought. Alowari for the law and in June in Canberra Accords. Gotta cut out the cancer, yeah, that's what the plans are. Walk with the elders, they got the law, we got the numbers, that is the answer. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. Never got the jab, never wore a mask. 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. They raided the camps, done all the camps, who took us out of camp, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. They broken the roads, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up with a man on bail, and I'm still here. They see us come, we see them run. Now we are one, free our daughters, free our sons. Yeah, they're getting scared. Front line, you can bet I'm there. Even when we're gone, our spirit lives on. Yeah, we ain't going anywhere. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Never got a jab, never wore a mask. 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raided the camps, done all the camps, who kicks out the camp, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They've broken the roads, broken the law, but can't break spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up with a man on bail, and I'm still here.
Yes, well, I think might be time to leave that one there for now. Howdy, folks, I'm back. Yeah, that was quite good to get them on board, sort of, because of course, I didn't plan the timing of the show, and of course, should have realised that they'd be doing the same sort of show, but same show they do weekly now, not every day still, but it's still quite a commitment. Imagine doing something every day for like 3 years, and then now they're still doing it weekly, this proclamation type thing, which is important work. But, well, I hope to be going down there sometime in the next month or two. We'll see what happens. But, so one last little song. It's pretty horrible. This guy has no idea what he's doing. But have a look anyway. It's a John Williamson song. This guy abuses or something. I just have to turn the music on, I guess. Oh dear me. Are you really disappearing? Just as I die, hate to Oh dear, mate. No, sure, it's got to be over shortly. There's still another minute to go, fucking hell. I don't know about that. Some mysterious bloke. Yep. Anyway, on that note, I think that'll do it for today's show. Well, actually, I did want to. Let's look at one more story. What was it? No, I don't think I wanted. No, not going to do it. I'll, everyone, if you can, DK, put your link in the description. That's what I need to do, don't I? The links are in the description, actually. Yeah, I'm on my YouTube channel and everywhere else. I've updated the description thing, and it's got all the links in it. So it should be under the video. Anyway, also, what do you think of my new, what are they? Captions. Soon to be news. That's a new one, of course. Yeah. Sunday soon, it's news spelt differently. Let me know what you think. Send me a message in the, or somehow, how it works. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Bit of music. I'll be doing another one when I'm doing another one. I've got to try and do it more regular, but I'd like to do one at least weekly, but who knows what day. You got to be lucky or unlucky to catch my show. Anyway, just be good to each other. Even though a lot of the world is falling apart in some places, what's it like at your place? You think it's that bad? Yeah. You're living true blue? Anyway, enough of that. Cheers. And I should put some music outro, shouldn't I? I reckon. Yeah, let's play something else. It's a random. What's this one? All right. Nah, just go on wild. Yeah, this one should work. Lovely, that young lady. That's the wrong button again, haven't I? As they say, it's not over until the fat. What was that? Till some lady sings. I don't know. Did I get in trouble? Anyway, be good to each other. Let's finish off with that. Toria.